Today is so exciting. Today we're going to finish our portraits or self-portraits by adding a background. What if I don't have room for a background? My head takes up my whole picture. Don't worry. At the end of the lesson, I'll show you how to make more space for a background. But what's a background? Let's start by learning what the word foreground means. The word for means in front of or before. The word ground means the surface of the earth. So the word foreground means the ground or the part of the picture that's in front, nearest to the viewer. Here it's the green paint and the two heads. Background means the parts that are behind, like the spiders in this painting. In our portraits or self-portraits, that's the face that we've made. That's in the foreground, in the front ground, in front of the ground. The background is what's behind the face. It can be just a single color. It can be a pattern or marks. It can be an elaborate landscape or someone's home. It has a relationship to the portrait. The background adds to what we know about the person. One option for your background is to just do it in a plain color. You can make the color darker in places or lighter in places to show light and shadow. And give some thought to whether you want a complementary color, which will zing, or a related color, which will give a much quieter transition from the foreground to the background. Maybe you want to make a background that's a pattern or some lines, but it relates to the portrait that you made. For instance, look at this self-portrait by Vincent van Gogh. Can you see how these swerving lines might relate to his state of mind? Here is a self-portrait by Dana Schultz. Notice how in the self-portrait, she's showing something about her inner state in both her expression on her face and in the way that she painted the background. Can you see that? So you could do your background very simply with a color or a pattern that relates to what you want to say about the person that you did the portrait or self-portrait. Look at this background. Now we'll look at two famous portraits and see how each of them used the landscape to create a feeling behind the face. How does the background add to what we think about the Mona Lisa? How does the background work in this painting to show more about the person in it? Because these images are so famous, you might have seen them being used in a kind of joke. I even think that this emoji is based on it. What do you notice about the Mona Lisa's background? Is she inside or outside? Does the background feel calm or does it feel agitated or stormy? What would you say her mood is? Does the background tell you more about her? Now let's look at the background in the screen. What do you notice? How does the picture make you feel? In what ways does the background feel similar to the person? Some portraits or self-portraits have backgrounds that show a lot about the people in the picture. What can we tell about these two people from the backgrounds of their pictures? What can you tell about this man from looking at the background that artist Alice Neel has painted? You can make whatever background you like. I showed you many, many options, and you might be able to invent something that I didn't even mention here. When you're doing your background, I want you to keep in mind a few of the lessons we've already done. The line lesson, you can use lots of different lines in your background. The color wheel lesson, think about if you want to use colors that zing, complementary colors, or related colors when you do your background. And the pastel experiential lesson, where you learned about mixing colors, blending, scratching into colors. Have a lot of fun with the material. Pastels have a lot of ability to do unusual things, like paint. Oh, and what to do if you don't have enough room for your background. This is what you can do. Take 2 pieces of paper, tape them together, and turn it upside down so the tape is on the bottom. You can even use 4 pieces of paper if you want a much larger background. Then tape or use a glue stick and glue your self-portrait that you've done so far where you want it on the paper. Make sure the tape or glue is on the back of it because the oil pastel won't cover the tape or the glue so easily. Make your background really count, whether you do a simple one color or you do a complex picture with a lot of things. Think about how you can make it an important part of your picture. Have a lot of fun with it, and remember to upload it to your Google Classroom file. The grade that you get will count for 3 grades. And share it on the Padlet for fun.